All right, I know my last video was about Severance, but it is so good that I finished it over a month ago and it's all I can think about. Please, if you haven't started it yet or haven't finished it yet, stop whatever you're doing and go do it right now. You will not regret it. Everything about the show is great. The premise, acting, writing, cinematography, etc. It's so good. And so while my last video was more about color analysis and symbolism, specifically in the season 2 finale, this one's going to be more about the great editing of Severance. Before I start, obviously there are spoilers for season 1 and 2. Alright, so one of my favorite scenes from the whole show that I just keep rewatching is season 2, episode 5. This is right after Mark hears from the former Severance procedure lady, I don't remember her name, sorry, herself, that Gemma is alive. This confirmation is what makes him go ahead with reintegration. It slowly builds up as she explains to him all the brainwave stuff, and we see shots of this science-y junk, which I'm sure is a bunch of mumbo-jumbo, but to us normies, it sounds scientific enough, so we buy it. The two waves on the graph slowly get closer to each other as Innie and Outie Mark are now in a collision course within his brain. Here's where the genius comes in. When we see an Outie switch to an Innie, or vice versa, there's a great camera trick called a dolly zoom or a zolly. This effect is made by moving the camera forward while zooming out, or vice versa. You can watch behind the scenes videos where Ben Stiller explains this more in depth. However, we don't see that effect here. Mark isn't switching between the two. Instead, they're combining. So we have this editing effect with a sound effect underneath.
Oh no.
We first see and hear this at the very end of the season 1 intro, where both Innie and Outie Mark are in the bed. In this scene, it quickly intercuts between Innie and Outie Mark on screen as we hear Innie Mark's memories start to take over. When she asks him a question, he says, "I can't remember," and closes his eyes. Then the two waves snap together and he wakes up on the table of the severed floor, just like Helly in the beginning of the series premiere. We quickly see shots of Innie Mark in his suit on the table and Outie Mark in street clothes on the table being cut together. This just works for me. Not to mention, Outie Mark is wearing red, which, like I talked about in my last video, symbolizes the Outie world, and Innie Mark has a big blue key card on, which represents the Innie world. And then we have the needle drop. Ben Stiller, I love you for this. Right as he wakes up, we hear the Who's Eminence Front start to play. Then we hear Petey ask him,
Who are you?
like Mark asked Helly. Those were the first spoken words in the show.
Who are you?
And is really the main question that this series is asking, which is what makes it the perfect needle drop. Besides the fact that it's a banger and the Who are goated, but that's for another time. The first words of the song are, "The sun shines, people forget," which is true of all the Innies on the severed floor. That version of themselves has never seen the sun. Mark's Outie has been putting on a quote, eminence front, as the song talks about, trying to say that his severed job has helped him to get over Gemma's death, which we know is not true. He's now going through reintegration on the small chance that he has to get her back, even after seeing how it killed Petey. Man, everything about this scene just rips. I love it. Shout out Ben Stiller. Your direction is a huge part of what makes this show great. Until next time, keep chilling.